Alright guys, welcome back to another tutorial. This one is going to be advanced sprite making. We're going to have a lot of shading with this. We're going to redo these bars right here, the door handle. We're actually going to give it a realistic looking, or a sprite realistic looking wood grain texture. I have no idea what this outline layer is, but basically I'm just going to kind of like make it how I would imagine a door would look. So I'm going to grab my square, and this is actually going to be rounded. I'm just grabbing my square for now because why not? So I'm just going to go around the scene like so. And so I have created the square. I'm actually going to come to image. I want to undo that first. I want to go to image. I'm going to resize the canvas because right now it's 256 by 256. Doors, if you look at them, they're generally about 3 to 4 times taller than what they are wide. So if we were to just look at this, let's just say 512. 512, or wait, this one needs to be 256. The height needs to be 512. So just creating this, making it taller, you're going to see the advantage that it will give us. So I'm actually going to create a new layer. I'm going to click on the circle. I want the circle to line up right here on this corner. And then this will kind of like come down around here. I can actually bring it down as far as I want. That part doesn't matter too terribly much. So I'm going to grab my eraser tool, or actually I don't even need to grab my eraser tool. I can just grab my selection tool. Kind of like get rid of this little edge, this little piece that was poking out. Now I do want my eraser tool. So I don't want any of these. Oh, come on, why are you still selected? So I'm just going to get rid of this bottom part. And I'm going to click on layer 2. I do not want this top part at all. So I'm just going to erase that downwards. There we go. And erase this downwards. There we go. So this is the basic outline shape of our door. And I could bring this down if I wanted to. I could literally just, select this. I need to actually merge these two together first. So I could have this selection right here, and I could take this transform. I could move it way up like that and do that. I could do all sorts of things with this if I wanted to. It's not just one size fits all, although I am not going to lie. I do kind of want this to be... Oops, let me go ahead and merge these again. I do kind of want this to be a little bit taller. So I'm actually going to click in here. I'm going to delete this middle section, and then I'm going to select just this top part. Let's go ahead and transform the crap out of it. I don't really want its height to change too much, so I'm just going to move this anchor up here. I'm just going to drag this down. I'm going to say right about... there we go. Alright, so you might be noticing that we have this weird look. That's not a problem. That is reference. So we're going to click back on this. I need to click on my pencil, and I'm actually going to layer that up. I'm going to bring this right up to here. There we go. So for this layer, I can go to the eraser. I can get rid of this up here. Then I need to go to layer 4. And I'll get rid of this down here. So for that and that. There we go. And that is how you'd create a more of an arc. Very simple to do. So because these are my layers, I need to go ahead and merge them. I'm actually going to duplicate this, and then I need to scale this down. So I'm going to move that in about there, and move that about there. I'm going to turn off this door, and I'm going to click on this little wand, and I'll click on this black line. And so it's already kind of like gone out a little bit. I actually want to go to select. We're going to hit feather selection. We're only going to feather it by 1 pixel. And then I'll go to black. There we go. Make that a little bit wider at least. And this is our outline. So actually I really don't care for that outline too much. I'm going to go to select. Well, first I need to remove that. Let me go to select. I'm going to shrink the selection by 1, and then I'm going to paint it. That looks more appropriate. Oh yeah, that looks a lot better. Okay, So now that I've done that, is what I want to do is we have this, I don't know if that's rock or what that is, but we have this gray texture. I'm going to assume it's steel. So I'm actually going to create a layer under this. I'm actually going to select this color just because I can. And I'm going to uncheck that. I actually want to select within this area. I'm going to increase my selection by 2. And I'm going to go and increase my brush size. I'm just going to paint in here real quick. There we go. So the next thing we need to do is select in here, and we're going to, hey, we have some little scrappies. We go to select, grow selection by 2, and turn on the door. I'm actually going to use this color once again, because why not? Let's just paint in here. There we go. Is that actually, it is part of the door. What the hell is going on? Ah! Young Padawan tried to confuse me. There we go. Okay, so those little marks are done. They're gone. They won't be bothering us again. Alright, so we have this. I actually put this... Oh crap, I put this on the wrong layer. That is okay. Oops, no, I don't want... No! Ah, there we go. So, I actually kind of messed up on this a little bit, and the reason why, because I meant to put this on its own layer. Select that layer. I'm actually going to hit Control-CV, and then I'm going to click back on this one. I'm going to delete it. I want that on its own layer for a very specific reason. This layer right here, I'm going to move that under. This is actually going to be kind of like a mask layer, so I can edit this however I need to. In fact, I can show you this real quickly. So this is going to be the bottom part of the layer. I'm just going to move this up. I'm going to click on my tool for creating lines. I'm going to set this to 1. Actually, I can click on this box tool. This will work just fine. So there we go. Very simple lines that have been made. And I'm going to create another layer underneath that. This will be a little bit darker than that. And I'm going to come down here to the fibers. There they are. Now this is a bit much right now. Let's see what it looks like. No, that's a little too much. I'm actually going to come here. Just trying to find a good color. Okay, that looks good. Oh yeah, that looks really good. Okay, so now all I need to do is just... And I could actually select these individually. So, like this one right here, I can select it right here. Oh wait, I need to be on this layer. So I can select just this right here and start coming in here and going through this. That is not an issue. The biggest thing about creating fibers is you want to kind of like have a pattern that's kind of swirling back and forth like I have, and you want them to kind of like match each other. There we go. And so that is done. I put that on the wrong layer. Jimmy, you dumbass. Okay, I'm actually going to set this to 10. This way I can just do it as one area. I'm just going to kind of like come back and forth. Okay, that is good. I'm going to select this now. I'm going to do the same thing. Now you see how this has a whiteness? I'm actually going to create a knot right there. And I'll show you how I do that here in just a second. This one can just real quickly go through there. And I'm just going to quickly paint these in, so y'all are not watching a 4-hour video, because I know those can kind of suck. Okay, it looks like I'm going to have another knot right there. No biggie. This one I'm going to try and come straight, well not straight down, but you know, I'm just going to kind of like move the mouse back and forth. There we go. Oh, well you know, auto knot. How about that? Okay, let me go ahead and click on this one. Now this one, actually I don't want a knot on this one. I think I'm going to have the knot on this one. So I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. How to actually like do a knot in the middle. A knot in the middle is a little bit more difficult, but it can still be done. So that's where the knot's going to be. And I'm just going to kind of come down through here. So I need to paint downwards. I'm going to move this off to the side, and I'm going to reconnect it right about here. There we go. And that is how you do a knot in the middle. So next is what I need to do. This was set to 10. I need to come here. I actually need to go just a little bit darker. Or actually, not yet. Oh, you bastard. Edit, redo. So let me just come back to here. I'm actually going to lower the opacity first. There we go. Just going to kind of like do that. Get just a little bit darker. Get just a little bit darker. There we go. So we have this. Oh, that's why it's not doing anything, because I still have my selection over there. So I'm actually going to select this area, and I'm just going to start going to town. So I need a knot right here on the edge. This one is already a little too dark, I think. That's the color I'm looking for. So I'm actually going to bring that around. And I'm going to go a little darker. And I'm going to go even darker. Alright, last one right here. So we're going to start with this. Just going to bring that around real quick. Go a little darker. And we'll go darker. Alright, excellent. So that doesn't look half bad. These layers are all going to be grouped together as a door wood. And now I have this layer right here, so I actually need to create a new layer above that, because this is going to have I want to have like a metal texture to it, like a grainy metal texture. Which actually this layer needs to be above this. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come to this tool. I actually really like using this tool. This is a really good tool. There we go. And maybe one more time up here. I'm actually going to go even darker. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to go lighter. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So this is the look that we have. Now I need to create a new layer. And I'm actually going to kind of like, I'm going to go fairly dark. I'm going to come to my brush tool right here. I'm going to set this to, see what 5 looks like. Yeah, 5 should be fine. So I'm going to, and this does need to be its own layer, very important. Let me go ahead and set this to 7. So I'm going to do that. So I'm actually going to use these squares, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There we go. And this one will be, let's see, I think I'm just going to do it right about here. Now, earlier I said that this has to be its own layer. That's very important. That still rings true. So I'm actually going to create a new layer. I'm going to go ahead and group the new layer and the other. These are going to be called rivets. And this one was super dark, so I need this one to be fairly light. I'm now going to set it to 2. And all of these right here, I'm just going to, that's not light enough. There we go. That should be fine. Okay, so for these over here, I'm actually going to select them. I'm going to delete them. I'm going to do the same with that one. So I kind of like the way that this turned out where I just did that. I think it gives it a little bit more detail. So when you look at it, this is what you're going to see. And I think it gives it a lot more detail. So we're actually going to duplicate the rivets. And we're going to go to Layer, Transform. We're going to mirror horizontally. And there we go. So now we need to come back to Layer 13. Oh, this dog is driving me up the wall. Layer 13, we're actually going to get rid of. So we'll delete those. There we go. And I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to grab this tool or this brush. Just paint those in real quickly. That does not have enough of a curve. There we go. Alright, excellent. So now I actually need to come here. Oops. I'm going to lower all those. Now I want the rivets to have a black outline. I set those to 7, so I'm going to say 8.5. I'm just going to try to line this up. So we create one. I can actually just like do the same thing I did earlier. Let's do that. I kind of like the way that looks. So I'm actually going to have like a slight offset. Oh, that's too much of an offset. So a slight offset kind of gives it a more shadowy look. And I kind of like that a little bit better. So try to line this up. But also because I have the offset, now I can't do the mirror trick that I was going to do. Which, that's okay. I'm okay with this. Because it's all about adding in that detail. There we go. And so now that has a lot more depth to it. Now, let's go ahead and, for this door, I'm going to hover it over. It actually has like those little bars that go across it. Let's do that next. I'm actually sounding like really excited because this has turned out to be really, really good. So I'm going to do these bars next because why not? I'm going to go ahead and create that. Let's see, those are the shadows. So I actually want to Control G. This layer will be called rivets. And that way this can all be like its own little thing. This is... I'm going to go ahead and combine all of these layers. This will be called door outer. There we go. So now all the rivets and that are together, and now I just need the bars. And that will actually go under door wood. So the first thing I need to do, and this dog is driving me up the wall. I wish you would just shut the hell up. You know, I think 2 would be good. So we actually had these bars on the door. I'm actually going to start right about here and just kind of like come over here to the edge. I'm going to do the same thing right here. Or actually, I don't even need to do that. I can just duplicate this. Man, that looks way too wide. I'm actually going to set this to 1 because I think that's just way too wide. So I'm going to come here. That looks a lot better. So I'm actually going to duplicate that. I'm going to move it right here. And so now's what I want to do is, just like before how we did with the door wood, we're actually going to start painting these in. But these are going to be on a layer that's underneath. So I actually need to turn this off for now. I can come in here and select that, go to select, grow selection by 2, and then just start painting the crap out of this. There's that. Let's go to this. And this one's going to have a lot of detail because people are going to see this a lot sooner than they'll see the other. Okay, there we go. So that looks good. I'm actually going to add one more layer to this. There we go. So now if we turn that on, oh yeah, that looks good. That might be a little dark, so I'm actually going to grab this eyedropper tool, come right in here and grab that color, and then I'm just going to, real quickly, do that. There we go. That looks excellent. This dog is driving me crazy, guys. She might need to go out. I guess I'll take her out again. I'll be right back. Alright, so the dog is outside, so now I should have some peace and quiet. Finally. So now we want bolts, because we want bolts to show that they are, like, bolting down this door. The way we're going to do that is we're going to come back over here to this brush. We're going to set the size to 1. So I'm actually going to do something very similar to how I did the rivets. And I'm trying to think how I want to do this. I'll probably start with a black layer. See how this looks. I don't really care for that too much. So I'm probably just going to set this to 10. Slap a bolt there. Bolt there. Bolt there. Bolt there. One there. One there. There and there. Okay. So now I can set this to, actually I'm going to set to 7. We'll go to this gray layer right here. 1, 2. Alright, we're going to go to a wider layer. That's my wife's phone that you are hearing. She just said sorry. She says she can't help it. She is now laughing. Pretty soon I'm going to be getting a dirty look and no lunch or dinner or whatever. Alright, so that's the layer for that. I don't know, I just don't care for it too much on the wood. I really don't. So I'm actually going to undo all of that. We're going to do something a little different. I'm actually going to set this to 5. And instead of doing the silver, we're actually going to go to a more brassy color. Probably right about there. I'm going to go. Let's do 1, 2. Just like that. So it's okay if these are offset, because I want them to have a look like they were, I guess you'd say, hand-built, without any real measuring utilities. Oh, that one went too low. There we go. Alright, so we'll come over here. We're going to set this to 1. Going to add some detail to the edge. Make all these edge lit right up here on the top corner. Alright, and then we're actually going to click back on this color. We're going to make this one go up so it'll be a little bit darker. That was too low. And that's all I'm going to do, is just drag the mouse around like that, right there on the edge. If I need to, I can always zoom out just one time so I can get rid of the grid. Oh, that one went too low. Alright, there we go. That doesn't look half bad. So now that I've done that, I can actually just duplicate that layer and move it straight down. Just need to make sure that these don't overlap too much. That looks good. So on the next part, the door, if we look down here, we'll see that the door actually has like a little handle. Let's go ahead and build that up next and make that just really pop. So we're actually going to create one more layer. I'm actually going to move these inside of door wood. There we go. So this is going to be the door handle. So we're going to go to our brush tool. Let's set this to 3 because I want quite a bit of attention to it. So the first thing we need, or actually I'm going to set to 2. I think 2 would be good. First thing we need is a square right here, and we will duplicate that and move it. Ah, bastard. I'm just going to move the square over here, and maybe a little bit further over. There we go. And so right here, this is where we have the actual door handle. Where are the squares there for, you might ask? Well, we'll come over here. We will bring this door, or actually I'm going to move this straight down. If I can draw with the mouse, that'd be great. There we go. So this is going to come down here, and this one will come down here. I'm going to duplicate that layer, and we will move it over here. Probably right about there. There we go. Get rid of that square. Let's go ahead and merge these layers together. There we go. And I actually need to take this one little guy right here. Let's go to Layer, Transform, Mirror Horizontally. And we're just going to move them right about there, looks like. Yeah, right there. Okay, awesome. Alright, so now we need our circle tool. I wish we could just grab like this. We kind of can, but there we go. I actually need to create a new layer. That's my bad, you guys. So we'll go to circle tool. We're going to grab right here, and we're still going to have to move it. We just need to make it as circular as possible. So that's going to come up here, like so. Grab this circle tool again. We'll create a new layer. Drag it where it's just a little bit larger than that one. Let's move it up. Right about there it looks like. And now we need to start erasing. Erase the top part of it. Come over here and erase this top part. And what is this? Okay, so we'll go ahead and merge all these together. I'm actually thinking I don't really care for that too much, so I'm going to delete both of these in here. Let's come back to the circle tool. So this right here is right here. I'm actually going to connect it with that square. Just try to make it as even as possible. So I'm thinking right about there. Move this down. Okay. We're actually going to do this one up here. It's a little too big. Let's duplicate this and scale it up. We'll do it the easy way. Alright, let's go ahead and start erasing. And I'll clean these edges up here in just a minute. Alright, so I'll come back in here, let's clean these edges up. There we go. Alright, let's go ahead and merge all these layers together now. I know this is like really large, but we can always make it smaller and then just kind of like move it into place. I'm thinking right about there looks good. And so now we need to come in here. We're going to do a color. That one's like a brass color as well, so we're going to stick with the same color palette that we were using earlier. All I'm going to do is just come in here and start painting all of this. There we go. We're going to go to the lighter color now. We're just going to kind of like highlight these edges right here where it curves. There we go. Probably going to want a little bit of a highlight right here. Come over here and give this a highlight. Let's go to the darker color now. There we go. Alright, so now we just need to add a pen between these two, which will come to this layer. This pen is going to be fairly dark. It's going to make it a little bit larger than that. There we go. Do the same over here. Do the same over here. I'm actually going to move this underneath just so I have a little bit more freedom. Alright, so now we're going to... How would you do that? Let's go and create one more layer. This will be the black outline for the pen. And there we go. So let's see how it looks. This is our new door. So I'm actually going to save. Okay. And let's see what y'all think of the new door. So that's going to be it for this tutorial. This is a more in-depth feature with using Krita software. In fact, one other thing I want to show you guys real quickly. That's that. Here we go. This is the layer I'm looking for. I'm actually going to duplicate this layer real quick. And I'm going to move it to the right. I mean to the left. The reason why I'm moving it to the left because I want this to be a more shadow layer. So if I go to filter, let's go to adjust. We're actually going to go to the levels, and we're actually going to change the output levels. Probably right about there. So I'm going to move that here. I'm actually going to move it underneath that. And that way you can see that it gives us a lot more depth whenever we do that. So I'm going to go ahead and save this. And that'll be it for this tutorial, so I shall see y'all later.